Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 173 of The Rewind, a podcast dedicated to keeping its listeners on the cutting edge of the upcoming MMORPG, Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. At a time of the year in which we are thoughtful and thankful to others, Draq and I want to thank you all for spending your time with us each week. This labor of love is for you, the listener, and because Draq and I have nothing better to do with our time. If you enjoy the show and want to help us keep it going, please click the like and subscribe button so you are reminded when a new episode comes out. Since we are still part of the Pantheon community and don't have that sweet board game money flowing in, we have a Patreon and several great tiers you can be a part of, including our rate tier, who get their own private Discord with Draq and I and get the pleasure of me roasting their top 5 each week. Lastly, today we complete our string of interviews and have saved the sexiest for last. No, Draq is not interviewing me, but you're right to think that I would be the sexiest interview of all time. Today, we talk to our good friend Gulogulo from such shows as Bros Before Foes and After Dark, both which can be seen here on our staticgroup.live channel. Unfortunately for you, the listener, you don't get to see Gulo, but I can describe him for you as a long-haired brunette Chris Hemsworth and the Thor to my heart. He has also graciously said yes to helping us run our Pantheon guild, sucker, called Greybox, which is why he is the perfect fit for our special guild episode. Now, on with the show.
In the heart of the bustling city, 6 adventurers gathered in a shadowy tavern corner. The table before them was strewn with parchment and sketches. Ziplox leaned forward, his dark eyes gleaming. We need a guild that commands respect and fear, something timeless. Annoying Llama tapped his chin thoughtfully. How about the first balance? We bring harmony through force. Screech hissed. His scaled hands brushed over a half-finished sketch. Balance is weak. Power comes before chaos. A flame intertwined with a serpent. It represents unpredictability. Flames and serpents? Grumbled Archbishop, his voice as gruff as stone. What we need is righteousness. A hammer atop a shield. Nothing says justice like a good hammering. Anton Dubiditis, calm as the sea, raised the hand. Symbolism matters. It must reflect all of us. Waves, shadows, and the stars above. This guild shall be an omen. Churro Dude perched atop a bar stool, conjured a minor illusion. How about a fusion? A radiant hammer encircled by swirling shadows and flames? The group fell silent as the image shimmered before them. Perfect, Ziplox declared. From this day forward, we are of the Crestborn Vanguard. Our deeds will define us, but this crest will lead the way. Cheers erupted as the guild was born.
All right, here we are. As I said in the intro, we are joined here today by our good friend Gulogulo. Please feel free to step out of your jail box and join us on the microphone.
Hello, everybody. How's it going out there?
So sexy. You can hear it in his voice. It's so
you
sexy.
can hear it. He's just like the dulcet tones flow through the microphone.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Gulo, we are going to start this out by your invention. So it's fitting that we end this with you being the last person, since
it's guestception.
It is guestception. That's a great way to put that, Draq. I like that.
I'm honored.
Yeah. Well, you were the one that came up with this idea, so we're going to ask you the same questions that we've asked the other 1,000 interviews that Draq set up that I'm exhausted from. So let's see what you answer here for us. Are you ready?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. First question, best questions, unlike Draq's questions.
Your questions suck.
Wow, just straight up telling me that they suck. Okay, here we go. What made you want to start creating gaming content?
Funny enough, it was the OG Pantheon Plus crew and a few other streamers that are part of the community. So got to give a shout out. Minus, Eric, Draq,
what?
Nathan, yes! Napalm, Redbeard Flynn, a bunch of these guys I sent messages to when I was thinking about streaming, asking for advice, and they were all super helpful. And I remember Draq specifically being the one that told me I need to run a 2 PC setup. And yeah, it's been good times ever since.
Now look at you. You host your own show with Mr. C, and you're on the flagship program, the After Dark program on Monday nights as well. You're a stud.
Moving on up.
All right, second question. What, in your opinion, is the greatest moment in gaming?
So I've thought long and hard about this.
It's a great question, right? Hard hitting.
It is. And there's so many possible answers. And I kept coming back to this same idea. And it's going to take us back 28 years ago.
Oh, wow.
The year's 1996. And I'm sure you guys were all around in 1996. You all knew what was going on
Draq
in 1996. And and only had 50 children. And a mere mortal man at that time founded a gaming studio that today is known as Larian Studios. And this man is now a legend, Finn. I thank you. But they would ultimately go on to create many great games, leading to Baldur's Gate 3, arguably the best game of all time up to this point, and changing the entire industry, in my opinion. Every game, every genre can learn something from their studio and from that game. And it's not the first time, it's not the last time that's happened, but I think it is the most significant.
Great answer.
Wow.
Not even just like the game itself and the product that they produce, but like the business model, how they treat their employees. The founding of the
studio, how you could start a studio and put out, I mean, even me looking at it, there's games that I had never heard of that they put out. And they worked up until they got the Kickstarter support for Divinity, Original Sin, and they kept going from there and building up, and they got to the point where they got the license to do D&D Baldur's Gate. And they killed it. They killed it. Never selling out, never giving anybody a say in what they were doing, saying, we want to make fun games that we want to play, making the entire game, no DLCs, no nothing. Here you go. Out the door. This is yours. Making it open to modders so that they can take it to infinity and beyond. That's it for me.
Here's to you, Sven.
Gulo drops the mic. All right. Enough with these softball questions, whatever. Let's get to the real stuff. When did you start following Pantheon?
I don't remember exactly, and I don't remember if somebody told me about it, but I don't think they did. I think I was browsing Kickstarter, and it was late 2013, early 2014.
Because that's what we did in 2013 and 2014. We just hopped on Kickstarter and like, let's see what's out there.
You know, I was so starving for stuff. I was just looking what was possibly being worked on. I stumbled across the site and I immediately saw Brad McQuaid's name on it. I watched the little video intro that was on there, and I was pretty hooked. I regretfully did not pledge. I hit that little remind me later button that's on Kickstarter that gives you like 48 hours before the campaign's going to end. And I didn't really look back at it until that went off. And by the time that little reminder went off, it was pretty blatant that it wasn't going to get the Kickstarter funding. So I didn't back it, regretfully.
Oh, so you're the reason it failed.
Cost you a horse mount.
Probably, if you added up all the people like me, you know, maybe it would have got that initial funding. But yeah, I want to say about 6 months went by, hadn't heard anything more about it. And then I saw an article. I saw, I think, a Basgrim video not too long after that. I started lurking and getting back into following the community and seeing what people were saying. And I've been around ever since.
Question number 2. What are your past favorite MMORPGs?
Like many of you, I've played more MMORPGs than I probably even want to admit to. If I'm naming some of my top ones, just, you know, to get them out there, you know, controversial, hot takes, whatever it is, I'm going to say EverQuest's got to be on there. World of Warcraft got to be on there. Planet Side, you know, a lot of you aren't PvPers, but the original Planet Side, near and dear to my heart. Rift, Wildstar, City of Heroes, Embers Adrift, just to name a few. There's many, many more, and some that I wish I didn't spend any money or time on. But yeah, those were some that I really, really enjoyed myself on.
What interests you in Pantheon that is different from other MMORPGs?
The old school nature of it, which has been coming back in a few other games since its inception or started the campaign. In reality, it's the tenets. Initially, Brad, got me really interested in it, but reading the tenets, it's difficult. I've understood over the years that the tenets mean very different things to different people. I think they mean different things to me than they necessarily do to the developers, but they are really the core of what's kept me involved in this game and hopeful for this game. And I hope they maintain that.
So, what is your race class combo for your main in Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and why is it human monk?
It is not human anything. Not please delete
Hallelujah.
humans from every MMO or every RPG or every fantasy genre. It is the race and class that created the entire universe, the gnome enchanter.
That's well played. All right. Last but not least, what is your favorite MMORPG story?
So this, speaking of impossible questions, I can't even answer this question about a single MMO. I have so many stories and so many fun times with people. You asked me today at this moment in time, and I'm going to give you what I feel like right now. Original EverQuest. I had a friend that she was older than me and my brother and all my friends that we played with. She leveled up a lot faster than us initially. So, when we were like level 10, she was probably level 30 or 35. She helps everybody. I feel like a couple years went by. I feel like I was probably level 60 and she was maybe 50, maybe 51 or 52. And she had never hit max level. She wasn't even really trying to. She was always helping lower levels. And she would only ever reach out asking for help for other people. And I think we all have met people over time who are like this. I can be accused of being like this sometimes. It was so funny. She reached out to me one day and was asking me to help somebody, and I went and helped her real quick. And I couldn't always help her. I was busy. I was hardcore raiding at the time. And I ended up reaching out to her and I asked her about her epic. And I think I just assumed it was done. I said, hey, was your epic worth doing, the magician epic? And she was like, I don't know. I don't have it. And it blew my mind. I was like, what are you talking about? You don't have it. So I immediately called a bunch of people I knew that owed me favors and was like, we got to go finish her epic. And she had done a bit of it, but over the next 2 or 3 days, we banged out her epic and she was so happy when she got it finished. That to me stuck with me because it was this person who helped everybody. Everybody I asked to go help her when I told her who I was helping was like, yeah, man, let's go. Because I feel like everybody leveling up had got help from her sometimes. She had come by and just, handed their group summoned stuff or done something. Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was so nice to finally get back somebody who I felt like when I was, lower level, she had helped me a bunch. She had always answered questions for me when I wanted to know stuff. And it was just one of those chance things that I asked her a question and figured it out and was like, oh no, we're doing this. We're finishing your epic.
What a great heartfelt story.
Yeah, but magician epic, that's like
dude.
That's
how did you finish that in 3 days? What the heck?
Yeah, she said she had started it.
Yeah, she had started. She had some big part. Like we had to go to Plane of Hate, so we got a nice group of really high end people and took her into Plane of Hate. But yeah, there were some parts that I think she had just given up on it because she wasn't in a guild that was going to go do that stuff, and she was just into helping other people. So yeah, we put it all together and got it done.
What a great story. That's kind of what you do in Pantheon, and honestly, Embers Adrift. When the first game we really started playing together, you were always the go-to, one of the most knowledgeable people on the server, and I always ask questions. It helped that you played the same class that I did, so
Yeah, I think these people inspired me a little bit. You know, it is
Little bit.
nice helping people that deserve help.
I feel like his association with us on the After Dark is all just him helping us. Like he's just carrying us along.
Yeah. We needed someone that could keep the group together, and here we are.
Here we are. All right, back to Dymlos' boring questions. Go ahead.
All right, boring question number 1. If you were stuck on a desert island with one game for the rest of your life, no internet, what would it be? I think I've got a good idea what the answer is going to be, but go for it.
It's going to go back to one of my previous answers, Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I figured.
I just feel like there's so many playthrough options there. I've been playing it with multiple people and I know I'd be alone, but just explaining to them that they could try to play it the same exact way twice in a row and it's not going to be the same.
I can't believe more people haven't said this game. Like, a lot of people have been saying random games. Baldur's Gate 3 comes to my mind because there's a billion endings. There's so many and little cutscenes along the way. Yeah, it follows the same storyline, but this could keep you entertained for a really, really long time.
Oh yeah, I think the game will outlive me. I think the possibilities of different classes and different choices, and it's insane.
It just seems to me like the perfect desert island game. So I completely agree with you, but we seem to be in the minority, Gulo, unless we just are not interviewing the right people.
That's fine with me. I get it. I get why some people would want The Sims or would want Minecraft.
Minecraft? Get out.
Yeah.
Let's get out with that pixelated bullshit. All right, next question. What is something that your community might not know about you?
I know you guys probably know this, but I don't think they do. I'm a dog guy that got adopted by a cat.
What's your favorite thing about your cat?
My favorite thing about my cat is he is a total guy. He is like, I'm
Licks his balls all the time.
And I do what I want. And don't try to make me do anything. I do what I want all the time.
All right, last question. Describe what types of content you do for the people that may have not seen your videos.
I think I would just be a variety streamer, basically. Like I play whatever games I'm into and I like at the moment. I've been playing, some Throne and Liberty lately. On the Wednesday stream, we're going to be doing some Jackbox Party Pack this next week. But whatever I'm feeling like playing, I'm going to play and I'm going to stream it. And come check me out on Twitch. I love interacting with people, but I can also be that, quiet guy who's focused and just trying to get stuff done. So don't feel free to ask me questions if you got any questions or anything, and come by, hang out.
Very nice. Very nice. Go check him out.
Darkness descends upon Terminus. Evil armies amass, our pantheons pacified. What hope could ever light Terminus once more? Suffer not alone, for we are the Dragon Accord. Join us, Pantheon kin, and together Terminus will alight once more. Join us, whether you are brand new or experienced hero. Join us, for all of us together will teach, learn, craft, and fight. Whether it be a laid-back grouping to hardcore raiding, join us, because friends help friends. And friendship defines the Dragon Accord. Shatter the silence of the Pantheons with the Dragon Accord. You, hero, are not alone.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This is the official Pantheon Guild section of the Rewind. We are super excited for the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen Early Access, and we think here at Static Group Live that you should have friends that you should play with at the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen Early Access. And so we have put together this little guild episode, and we're going to talk about guilds, and we're going to talk about our own guild, and there's going to be some other guild commercials. It's going to be fantastic. Are you guys as excited for this as I am?
Yay!
Oh my goodness.
Just
That's
kidding.
not even good fake yet.
No. It's going to be great. I am excited to hear the commercials. This is Dymlos pre-hearing commercial, watching it live on Saturday with all of you at the same time. So we'll see how those commercials do. Hopefully the guilds that have chosen to participate are good. I don't know. We'll see. But I do know that we have a guild and it's called Greybox. Though we haven't picked out a server officially, we always play on the Osari server, so I assume we're probably going to be there. We haven't even discussed that as the 3 leaders of the guild, all right here. I
think that's fair.
Yeah.
We don't have a server list. It's not like we have a list of servers we can choose from, so it's kind of hard. I don't know if they'll put that out.
I assume it's all going to be the same. We'll likely be on the Osari unless it's not server that's available. We'll be looking to recruit some people. So we do have the application in the description notes. So if you don't have any friends and you want Draq to be your friend, then he is willing to take your application. So we need people. We have a pretty good core. Depending on what rating is going to be like, we still don't really know, because the latest answer that we got from Joppa was it could be any number of 4 different things. TBD, as always. And there's not any rating content yet. So really, we're just looking for people that want to be active in the community, not looking to exploit.
That's a biggie.
Yeah, that's definitely one of our main rules. Part of the application is you signing off saying that you will not knowingly exploit. Now, sometimes things happen, and we get that.
Like, if you watch our streams, you know that things happen. It's fine. But you can't continually for, 8 hours.
Yeah, if you find an exploit, report it, send it to the devs, move on. It's pretty simple.
Greybox is the name that we came up with. Our members voted on it, and was a pretty big majority wanted that. If you don't know what Greybox is in the gaming community, Draq, do you want to explain what Greybox is?
In the Pantheon development cycle, we had what was coined the Greybox period. Now, I'd never heard of that before, but apparently in the development cycle, before you really put in lots of graphics, you just kind of put in really dull, plain characters and backgrounds and all this stuff just to see how the game's going to work, just to test the game and make sure that like the functions of the game work. And that period of time is called Greybox. And so since a lot of our people in the guild have been around for a long time, we have a lot of VIP pledges in the guild. So we all together went through this Greybox period, and it was, really interesting. There's some super funny, lore about, Greybox squirrels and deer and stuff that have kind of become legend, but it's kind of a throwback to, we were here at the beginning, and so that's kind of why we chose Greybox.
There's also a great Greybox song out there, if you haven't heard it.
Yeah. Also, Mana Rohan wrote the Greybox song, the Greybox Lament, which is an excellent song, our guild theme song, as it were.
Just so you know, you do not have to be around from forever ago in the Greybox period to be in Greybox Guild. If you want help from people that have been around the Greybox block, if you will, then we're your people. And so we are looking for quality people. We like people that are active. We like people that are open and honest and are online. That's part of it too, is that you're actually looking to play the game. So play on your time. We know that real life comes first, and especially when it comes to rating. We don't plan on being a hardcore bat phone rating guild ever. We'll probably do 2, maybe 3 nights a week, 2 hours at a time, which is, in my experience as a raider, very convenient and the best schedule to not burn you out, because that's the last thing I want. I want you to come play Pantheon and enjoy the game, right? Like, that's one of the most important parts of being long-term in a game, is that you are enjoying yourself. So I want to make sure that we're not eating up your time. You get to do the stuff that you want to do, but also see the content that you wouldn't see unless you got together with other people and rated it up. So I am going to be the raid leader with Gulogulo here being my assistant. So we're looking for people that are looking to raid. We're looking for people that just want to promote community. We still think community matters. That's the most important thing.
What Dymlos is trying to say is Greybox is the foundation of everything you see inside Pantheon. And our guild is going to be the foundation that the pillars of the community stand upon. And if you want to be a part of that, fill out an application.
Boom.
Boom.
We're probably going to get labeled the Streamer Guild. So, be ready to hear that from other people. Hey, do you want to join Greybox? Oh, that's that Streamer Guild that is not good. Well, No.
Not good streamer guild. Ouch.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that what usually happens? Like ask Nathan, like all of his guilds.
Yeah.
When we were in Embers Adrift, our guild there, Nathan's guild there, just got labeled
Pretty
as a
much
streamer guild.
every guild with a single streamer in it is a streamer guild nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for us, we have multiple streamers, so it's going to be fantastic.
The difference is that we're going to be playing this game. This is like the game that we want to play. Just because we stream it and we show how we have fun to the interwebs doesn't mean that we are elitist, or, you know, we want to play with other people too, like-minded people like us. So just people that are looking to be pillars of the community, people that are active, people that want to have fun, that don't want to get wrapped up in guild drama. We are definitely going to be drama free, other than me making fun of Draq all the time.
Whoa.
Well, that just happens. I mean, if anyone's listening to the show, they know that's just going to happen. But other than that, you know, this is just it was perfectly said by Gulo. It's a foundation of what we want Pantheon to be. And so we're going to make our server, you know, whatever happens on other servers is up to other guilds. Check us out, fill out an app where we look forward to hearing and seeing your application.
More importantly than joining Greybox, though, is that you join some guild. You need to find a guild somewhere and you need to be a part of it. Don't do this thing solo. It's not going to be nearly as much fun. So it doesn't have to be us, but it should be somebody. You should get yourself in a guild. You should find yourself a static group. So also make sure, you know, if you don't have a stat group for EA launch, there is a looking for group tab in our Discord. So you can join the Discord. You can hop in there. You can say, hey, I'm looking for some people to do launch day with. And maybe they'll form a guild, or maybe they're in a guild and they're recruiting. Like, you could just go right in there with them. So you really want to be prepared. I'm a big proponent of being prepared for launch days, of going in, having a plan, and then that just makes it so much more fun for me, rather than just randomly wandering around lost, because that's what I devolve into if I don't have a plan.
Hello, I'm Carrera, the guild leader of Catalyst. Thanks for watching this video and learning more about Pantheon. The core players have been playing Pantheon for the past year, leveling up characters, testing game mechanics, and exploring Terminus. With early access launching December 13th, we're expanding our raid force and looking for committed players. Our playtimes are weeknights from 6 to 10 Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, with guild exploring and raids on Saturdays. We focus on leveling, crafting, and having fun while challenging ourselves. We value honesty, integrity, and teamwork, and we aim to be a respected part of the Pantheon community. If this sounds intriguing to you, contact me here or on Discord. Who's ready to join?
Well, let's move on with some actual VR news and notes. Patch day. It was a little bit chaos, a little bit craziness,
To say the least.
So we had some weapons damage that was, I guess, nerfed. Is about the only nerfed is the way that the only thing you could say about it. We had some group mobs that were buffed, oof. And the community's in a little bit of uproar about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit in the Joppa Says section, but like this patch has been one of the most controversial patches that I can remember in a while.
It has been a while since the people have revolted. I would say probably since 247, which is now over a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough to say whose fault this is. It's tough to say, was this the direction that we're going into? We'll find out, I guess, in the next patch if it swings the pendulum swings the other way, right? It's a little crazy.
It definitely was not great timing in terms of like we're ready to go into EA, and then this was a problem.
Definitely not the best of timing. Could have come a month ago. Would have been a little more convenient dealing with it then.
Then we could have ironed it out.
Well, that's not what we do as testers. We don't iron things out.
That's not how the world works.
Yeah, that's definitely not how Terminus works. That's for sure.
The other big news is that swimming is all the way in. If you're looking at the background video right now, that's me jumping around, swimming in water, just trying swimming out for the first time in Thronefast. So, it's a big thing. I think back to New World. New World didn't have swimming in on day one. So, having swimming in your games is kind of a big deal. And the swimming seems to be going well. I think the system works pretty good so far. What do you guys think?
I didn't know wizards can swim. I thought that's why you got levitate.
Plus, Draq is not going to work on his swimming skill, so he's going to need that levitate real
or
bad.
Climbing.
Yeah, that's how I know the swimming skill is going to be just as low.
I maxed my swimming in EverQuest every time because I sat in the unrest pool and just hit the auto run button up against the side of the thing and just sat there for hours.
Did you just say you exploited after we told people that we don't exploit stuff?
No, I was there for every moment of it.
That's exactly what I thought.
Oathsworn. Rooted in the values of camaraderie, game enjoyment, and personal excellence, we are a close-knit group united and bonded together that seek to explore all aspects of Terminus. We're composed of many different individuals, each bringing unique and valuable skills to the whole. We are committed to supporting one another and to our mission of honing our individual abilities so we can progress through the world with the satisfaction of knowing our achievements and advancements are the results of teamwork and shared spirit. This is the oath that we hold to be true. We are a North American Central Time-based guild, but all are welcome. We are seeking team players who enjoy teamwork, collaboration, and community. Check us out in the official Pantheon Discord or contact Dayhawk, DAYHJAWK, in-game if interested.
Hey, Joppa, you get me so excited about classes and abilities. When you say you're someone, I'll come and friends for me. Hey, Joppa, I hoped your words were pure gold. My broken heart is my fault, so now I carry around an extra shaker of salt. Hey, Joppa.
We got 6.5 hours of streaming this week. Back to 3 streams. We are full steam ahead for early access. And we got lots and lots of stuff to discuss this week.
All right, hit me up, Draq.
Number 1, this one was crazy to me. Like, just straight on crazy. No Steam keys are going to be given to existing pledges. So if you are a pledger and you're logging into Pantheon testing right now, you're not going to get a Steam key. You're not going to be able to access Pantheon through Steam itself. They are going to keep those two groups completely separate, which is really, really crazy to me. Because I thought part of the deal with Steam was it was going to help their account creation. Like, it was going to help them manage their people through accounts. But apparently not. Apparently it's...
You thought wrong, Draq.
It's going to be just 2 different things, and that sounds like a giant mess to me.
I mean, that just is par for the course.
Right. I wondered if it might be a money thing. I wonder if they have somebody download it on Steam that they have to give a cut of the money or something.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Like, it seems like something that should be easily resolved, but yeah, I don't know if Steam is going to charge for Steam keys if they want to give access to the other people with early access.
All that being said, FYI, you as a pledger, you do not have to pay for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. You already have access to it. I mean, if you want, you can support the game some more if you feel like it, but you don't have to.
Throw them another $40, by all means, go for it.
Throw them another $40. Joppa commented on someone who was asking him, how difficult would it be to do the naked level 1 run from starting spot to starting spot? And Joppa said, quote, that's going to be really, really difficult. So I took that to mean AKA don't do that. It's going to be pretty much impossible.
Right. Like if it's a kindred to EverQuest, you're not making that run from any starting city to any starting city without dying. Just don't do it. Get some levels and then meet up with your friends. You know, it's not too difficult to get to level 10 and then meet up somewhere.
It's another good reason to organize beforehand. Reach out to some people, come over to the SGL Discord, see if there's any people starting in your starting area.
Yeah. Also, it's a good moment to make some new friends. Like maybe all your friends are evil, but you want to start a dwarf. Well, you can make a few new friends for a while, and then you meet up with your other friends, right? Like it's fun.
And then maybe your old friends mingle with your new friends, and you've got lots of friends to choose from to group with if people aren't playing that night.
Right. Then you have a, quote, fellowship.
Oh.
Whoa, this is crazy. Crazy talk.
Or you just all join the one guild together, like Greybox.
Joppa had some comments about the Necromancer. He says, the Necromancer neither fully fits in as a crowd control or supporter or a DPS class, but is good at both. I really, really dislike playing classes like this. I want my class to be firmly entrenched somewhere. So what about you guys? What do you think about the Necromancer and kind of being between worlds?
The biggest issue with this is that that's great for the Necromancer that they're good at both. But then I look at the Summoner and they're good at neither. So like, okay, who cares about where Necromancers fit? They have a home in either. Joppa says they don't have a home. That's not true. They can do both. They can do both okay. Summoner can't do either okay. So let's stop focusing on the Necro because they're more complete than most classes in the game and focus on others that need a lot of work. Like where the hell the Summoner fits in. I don't know. This is just my rambling thoughts.
I would say I like the idea behind it, but it definitely needs some adjustments. But as we've seen, there's quite a few things that need adjustments right now, and focus on the really imperative things, the things that need to be done right away. Wait until later on to sort of balance out the Necro. Bringing up the Summoner, I would agree with Dymlos. I think that would take priority over that, but even that can go on the back burner for some of the other issues going on.
Yeah, we've got way too much to do to be worrying about balancing right now. The fact that we're even like focused on this is not where the brain should be. The brain should be making content, filling up the content that we have, having those 6 zones ready for the new 2,000 to 10,000 people that are going to come in 2 weeks to see this game for the first time. The fact that we are still adjusting all this balance, like we talked about earlier in the VR news and notes with the weapon damage and the buffing of mobs, like stop it. Just get the content in the game. And then after the 13th, we can worry about balancing. But let's get what we promised done so that we don't miss this such an important date. We only get to do this date once. This is it. I don't care. The launch is null and void, right? Like the launch is nothing now because this is it. So we need to make sure that this is as polished as it possibly can be, and then we can balance later. So the focus needs to go away from this and onto making sure that there are 6 zones, that all the classes have passed up to level 40, that all the races are clean and look good when they're running and don't just look like small ogres or human variant, and make sure that it's as polished as possible.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Thank
Boom.
you.
Joppa says, warrior skills to 40. Presto, they appear. Also, banners are in with banner animations.
Ooh.
Amazing. Will Dymlos switch to warrior? Will that be his new main? Will he never be able to switch back to paladin? Stay tuned.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. I do really like the idea of these banners, but if there's only going to be one banner at a time, then that's not enough for me. I need more than that. I just really like the idea of being a healing tank Like I like to have that little safety net where I can kind of give myself a little hit point buffer. Like yesterday when we were overdoing the Mad Run Spiders, right? Like I trust Vin. I don't necessarily look at my health bar all the time, but when we are fighting something that I know that I can help him out on and use my wrath towards healing me and helping him so that he's not, so we're not wiping the group, right? That is a comfort zone for me. So will I switch? I don't know. Will I give it a shot? Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's see what it does. It'd be nice to be able to kind of test this out before EA starts, but I don't think I'm going to get a shot to do it. So I may have to just kind of on a whim pick either warrior or paladin. I'd really like to see what the paladin skill set up to 40 looks like, but I don't think I'm going to get that chance before EA. So I'm just going to kind of have to flip a coin and hope it lands on the right side.
Just wing it. Just Chris
That's what we
Rowan,
do best.
right
Yeah, Chris
into the
Rowan,
wind.
shoot from the hip.
Let's go.
Wild, Wild West with the warrior and the paladin.
Make sure to tune in. Don't miss it. See what Dymlos does.
Joppa said that there are, quote, substantially more than 2,000 people that have wishlisted Pantheon Rise of the Fallen.
What does that mean? Why wouldn't you just say a number? Substantially more than 2,000?
He was being very cagey with and somebody asked 1,000 and he said way more. And then they said 2,000 and he said, this is all I'm going to say. Substantially more than 2,000 people wishlisted.
2,100 people have wishlisted.
All I can say is, duh. I hope they're ready. I hope they are prepared. I hope their server infrastructure is prepared. I'm not going to make a prediction on what I think the numbers will be, but we all know anybody that's played MMOs, anybody that's played old school MMOs, the community is starving. And whether these people are really excited or they're just going to give it a try or they're going to play an hour and a half and refund the game if they're not into it, there's going to be a lot of people checking this game out.
Here's what I think they should have done. They should have told the community, don't wish list on Steam. So then they could have had an actual real number of how many people were actually interested outside of the people that are already interested in the game. Right?
See, that would be cool, but the problem is they need the community to wish list it to get it up the algorithm to recommend it to other people.
Yep. The algorithm ruins everything.
It's
hard.
Like
getting people to
Speaking
like
of, don't
and
forget to click like and subscribe
on your videos.
I never wishlist anything on Steam.
I don't either.
If I'm watching for games to release, and when I see they release, I go get them. I never wishlist.
See, I'm the opposite. I wish list so many things, and like I just follow them. Like I follow them.
Steam
if they're
guy
in
too, though, right? Like he uses that a lot. We don't.
I'm a Steam guy. If a game's in early access and I don't want to buy it, I wish list it and I just watch it. I watch the reviews. If the reviews hit too negative, I take it off my wish list. But if it releases into 1.0 and it's got decent reviews and it's a game I'm interested in, I'll usually pick it up. If not, I'll wait for it to go on sale.
Wow, that's a weird world to live in. I don't do any of that.
I mean, we used to do it on eBay back in the day, right? Like, it's just game eBay, right?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, here's one for Dymlos. Joppa says that the starting area, the starting, quote, city, if you will, for the evil races will remind you of old school Neriac in EverQuest. I know that this is making you just froth at the mouth, Dymlos.
I'll tell you what, that city when you first started was a nightmare.
That's the first thought I had. I was like, yikes, I have no interest in relearning that maze.
Yeah, right. Now, since then, starting a dark elf and maining a dark elf, it became second nature. Like you knew exactly where to go. The 3 different areas of it made sense and you could find your way out pretty easily, especially the addition of maps. Maps helps out a ton. When you didn't have maps and it was just crazy, yeah, that was a hard zone to get around in. But it's not going to be a full city though, right? Like, so it shouldn't be
just inspiration.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, when I first read that, the 2 things that came to my mind is, does he mean that it's going to be difficult to navigate or that it's going to be sexy?
It's definitely going to be sexy. Everything about Neriak was sexy, other than the ogres.
I'm too sexy for this town. Joppa wants corpse summoning and teleports in for early access. Which do you think is more important?
Both? Desperately both. Necros need a way to make money, and wizards need something to do because they have literally nothing.
Because they took our torches away?
Yeah.
They're both definitely important. I don't know if I could pick one. I'm not going to be playing a class that does either.
Yeah, both need to be in.
I would say they're both pretty important.
Yeah.
I also think that these should be more late game. Both of those. Like if we're talking max levels 40, what level do you guys think the first corpse summon and first teleport should be?
Corpse summoning needs to be in by the first dungeon, which is like 12. Right?
Yeah, so corpse summon 10 for sure.
See, I'd argue against that. I think you need like a dungeon or two for people to learn how to get their own corpses, and I would say probably like 25 for corpse summoning and maybe.
But
30
how near is
teleport.
that dungeon? That's not fair. That's the biggest. That's the biggest zone in all of Terminus. Like,
that's true. That's true. Oh, you're convincing me a little bit.
Here's the thing. Corpse summoning has to be in first and is the most important and should be early because otherwise they're going to be bombarded with so many people creating tickets to summon their corpse from all the bugs that could potentially happen.
Solid point.
And corpse summon will fix all those problems because you just find a necro, you get your corpse summoned, and you can take care of it yourself. You don't need anyone from VR to help you. So I think corpse summon absolutely has to be in and should be early.
I would agree with you. I don't know about, see, it's hard for me to say early. If we're going to put it in early, my brain goes, and I know we said put off balancing, but how do you make corpse summoning not negate the death penalty? Are you going to put it on a single target long cooldown? Is it going to have a regent that is really expensive? You know, EQ was good at those kind of things. Like to get a corpse summon, it was kind of costly.
Yeah, you had to get a 60-pound coffin that cost a bunch of platinum, drag it there.
If we're talking like a necro can come in and summon 6 people back to back and not have any real impact, like not cost him anything, that kind of
it shouldn't be like dev summon
me.
corpse, right? Like there should be a reagent that is costly to get it, and you know, at level 12, maybe that's really, really expensive, but at level 40, that's not so expensive. But I don't want all these new people to come in. Has anybody here seen my corpse? And the response back is bummer.
So there's been a lot of talk about the server launch, and Joppa has been talking. None of this is solidified, but he was talking on the stream about how the VIPs, it looks like they're going to get in a little bit early because they need to test the server structure. Like, not even like the game itself, just like logging into the server. They need to test spinning up additional servers. Like, there's some things that absolutely need to be tested. And so Joppa kind of went into that. So there's going to be server caps. It's going to be 500 people per server cap if you didn't already know that. But what they're going to do, they're not, every time they hit that server cap, they're not going to spool up new servers per se. They're going to spool up sub-servers. So a sub-server would be like the same server name with just like a different number on it. Kind of like an EverQuest pick, except instead of a zone, it's a whole server. And you can switch between the picks of servers of your name. Now, while you're on that server, you can't communicate to like other Osaris, but you can coordinate outside of the game and all get on the same one and go from there. Does this make you a little less nervous about coordinating with guilds and friends on EA launch?
I would say yes and no. Like it sounds good in theory. I can also, you guys know me, I can also see ways this can be exploited.
Oh yeah.
You've heard me talk about my concerns about Zerg guilds. Like essentially a Zerg guild can just, you've heard it in EverQuest, creating your own pick and going in and having a dungeon all to yourself. This sounds like the same thing with servers.
Could be.
Like, oh man, like there's somebody else going in and clearing all a hangover. Well, how many people are on the server? Well, we'll have all of our entire guild jump over to number 3 and created number 4.
Yeah.
And there we go. Now we got a server all to ourselves where we can raid.
Got our own private Osari 4.
I think he didn't say this, but he said something similar. Joppa said something similar to this in the past, that this isn't a continued feature, that this is a launch period feature. So for the first month or 2 months, while the server because you get a lot of people, as Gulo said before, that just try the game and then they're like, no, this isn't for me. Like a lot of people. And then it slims down, and then you have the actual amount of people that are actually going to play your game. So I think what their idea is they're going to do this thing until the servers kind of stabilize, and then they're going to have like locked in servers that are just one server and move forward from there.
I can understand that with like newbie areas, especially at EA launch where everybody's going to be in the starting areas.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. And hopefully what you just said is the case. By the time we're getting to the later game, they're not going to be having servers spun up, just for people to go do their own things.
So Joppa held kind of a private VIP chat. As we stated before, the most recent patch was a little rough. So he kind of had a private VIP chat, and fellow content creator Jadion recorded it. And with VR's permission, he posted the thing online. Now, in this chat, to kind of sum it all up, basically, the VIPs feel that the itemization right now is super rough. And also that rare drops really don't have an impact. That certain common drops that you can just get from regular old mobs are sometimes way better than super rare drops. And also, auto attacks feel real bad, as in you're hitting for 2 damage on gray mobs bad. Like it's real bad.
Did we forget that this already happened 6 months ago? Like this is what I talk about in last episode.
The circle of life.
Yeah, when we talk about going 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back, this is a problem we've already fixed, and it's right back to where it started. So we're going to go back and fix it again, but we lose another, 2 weeks, a month worth of testing while we wait for another patch to come in to fix something we've already fixed before because we broke it again. It just is so frustrating. I understand why these VIPs are frustrated.
Joppa said that it was probably a result of them trying to get a lot of different things in the patch, and that some of the things just weren't communicated correctly.
It's like Draq's short-term memory. If something goes in, 60 seconds later it's gone and never heard of again.
It's only got so much storage up there. If something comes in, something's got to go. You're working with 128 KB up there.
From the SGL Action News Desk, this is MMO News, featuring your anchors, Draq and Dymlos.
All right, well, we've got the Hills and Tribes expert here, and if you are hip to our lingo, Hills and Tribes is actually our term for Throne and Liberty, one of the newer MMOs that has come out this year and has seen some success, but it sounds like people are already getting a little tired of it. MMOs where there's a bunch of dailies and little content to do after you've seen everything, and this is hopefully what Pantheon doesn't run into, where people just gobble up this content in a matter of a month, and then there's nothing new to sink their teeth into. Like I said, hopefully Pantheon doesn't run into this, but Agula, we know you're the expert here because we haven't played a single hour of it, but we've got some changes coming up. Tico Talks. I have no idea who Tico is, but I assume he's a head developer of some sort, making changes to the game. So in this article, feel free to click on the article, people at home, follow along with us. These changes that Tico is planning on making or has already made, how are they going to make you feel? Like, I already know that you're invested in the game, but you're already starting to waver a little bit. There's not a whole lot to do, but do you think some of these changes are going to get you back?
I think these are all positive changes. I will say that. I will also say I love the Tico Talk series. Tico is one of the developers. He is very upfront. He is very feedback oriented. He wants to hear from the community and hear how people feel about things. I think these are all positive changes. Do I think they'll be bringing me back? No. Unfortunately, I don't think they're things that impact me very much at all, but they are big changes that needed to be made. The first one and most significant to me is the randomized dungeon feature. People were exploiting the randomized dungeon feature. They probably won't use that term of exploiting it, but that's what they were doing. Essentially, they gave a reward for queuing up for a random dungeon so that you got a treasure chest for queuing for random dungeons, which was supposed to help other people get dungeons faster. What people were doing was queuing for a random dungeon and then leaving the dungeon and then re-queuing until they got the dungeon that they were specifically looking for, so that they would both get the loot from the dungeon they wanted and get the extra bonus treasure chest. What they are doing to combat that is they are allowing more people to queue up together in the random queue. So you're going to be able to queue up with a party of 4. So that will help bigger groups queue up randomly together. And they are also going to be implementing an abandonment penalty for leaving the queue or the dungeon itself.
Bring on the stick.
The other 2 changes are PvP changes. One of the big ones was the Alliance. They basically were abusing the guild alliances and guild hostile things so that they could create mega alliances. You were only supposed to be able to have 4 guilds in alliance, and they were using the hostile guild tab to create 8 guild alliances. And they have completely removed the hostile guild tab to combat that. They're also, fixing some issues they had with collecting money from some of the stones for that event. And they're making some other changes for crowd control abilities and purification stones and different things like that for PvP. But other than that, I really recommend checking out the Tico Talks if you're into Throne and Liberty. And he will send out surveys and fill out those surveys and let them know what you think. And they will definitely make some changes.
What would it take for you to come back to Throne and Liberty?
That's a very hard thing to say. Because I've already expressed to you guys, if everybody else wants to know what's really worn me out on Throne and Liberty, is the feeling of chores. It's the feeling of like dailies or things you have to do or need to do, especially when you get to the point where you get no real reward for those things. And even when you do get minor rewards, it just doesn't feel satisfactory. So after a while, I might go back and check out new content when they add some new dungeons or raids, but do I think I'll be going back and playing it consistently? I doubt it.
Well, I'm glad you knew all this stuff, because Draq and I would have been lost completely.
Not a clue.
No problem.
5,
Draq, I'm so disappointed in you.
4,
Luckily, every week I dominate this list and just destroy Dymlos.
3,
I thought you would just tuck your head between,
No
your butt
way!
cheeks.
No, my list is
And
amazing.
It's not at all.
2,
Oh, already your list is the worst. Your list is the worst.
1.
All right, Gulo, as a avid listener of the show, you know that every week we do a top 5, and every week we have an amazing top 5, and every week I slaughter Dymlos in this friendly contest. So this week, because it's all about guilds this week, we are doing the top 5 guild features in MMORPGs of all time. So this is any game, any MMORPG, any feature that's been put in any MMO. What is it?
Oh, I cannot wait
Let's
to
go.
blast your list.
We already know Drax's top number 1 is Guild Water.
Guild water is very important.
All right, Draq. Well, let's see what you started this list off with. What's your number 5?
Number 5 is, of course, guild quests. Now, I love the idea of having quests that are given out inside the guild that are specifically for the guild. I think that's an amazing idea. To be able to unlock quests inside your own guild. I think this is a fantastic idea. I think you should encourage people to join guilds, and I think you should lean into that and not lean into the solo nature of MMORPGs. Dymlos, what's your top 5? What's number 5 for you?
I can't believe that no one came up with this. The guild tag under your name.
What? Oh my! That's because it's basic. Like even Pantheon has that. That's how basic it is.
Yeah, don't take advantage of it. That's super important. Everyone wants to flash that guild. When you're in that top guild and everyone can see it, that's like one of the best parts of being in a guild is when your guild is great and you can flash it to everybody with your guild tag. Are you kidding? Just because it's basic doesn't mean it's not important and one of the best things of all time.
I don't know. I don't think it's a feature. Without
you don't
that,
think it's a feature? It's literally the only feature in Pantheon.
That's true. That's 100% right there.
I don't know. This is a big one. I love being able to go around saying, hey, this is who I associate myself with. And honestly, it also separates the people we don't want to associate with. Anyone that's in a certain guild that I don't want to name, we know not to group with them.
That is true.
That's
a good
super
point
important.
right there. That's a good point.
And my number 5. Gulo, hit me with your number 5.
My number 5 is kind of similar to yours, but very different. The emblem / coat of arms.
Way different. This is way different.
Also, it lets you show off your creativity for the guild. It really lets you put yourself out there and show how much better your artistic talent is than other guilds.
Yeah, like when I created our emblem in Dark Age of Camelot. Yep, it was the best emblem.
But yeah, you can put it on a cloak, you can put it on a tabard, you can put it on a shield, depending on the different games. But yeah, it's a great way to put your guild out there and let people know who you are.
Absolutely, love it.
And it works even if you have the name tags turned off for everybody.
Fair. You can turn off those guild tags. So fair enough. All right, Draq, please redeem yourself with your number 4.
Number 4, guild levels. I love this because there's nothing better than dinging. And so I want to ding for myself and also want to ding for my guild. And I want to be able to get things as I level up. I'm not only improving myself as we go along, but I'm improving my guild as we go along. Guild levels.
I do love this. Yeah.
Number 4.
Great choice. But you missed the best part of it when it pings the whole server. Hey, this guild is now level 50. Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment, and it should be announced to the server. And that's server announcements are very cool things. So no, I can't poo-poo on this one. Guild levels, definitely a great thing.
What about your number 4?
For me, this one came straight out of EverQuest 1. It was later when they got guild halls. And then eventually they got a guild neighborhood. And what this was that everyone in the guild could go to the guild neighborhood and you'd rent a spot together. And so this is kind of where the fellowship came together for me. My little fellowship within the greater guild went out and rented a whole cul-de-sac. So like one whole part of the guild neighborhood was just our group of people. And we could just go and see our houses like in a row. It was like lakeside. We had the best part of the neighborhood was this nice little lakeside place where we had 6 or 7 houses that were all put together. And then there's like 5 or 6 different areas and you buy your house in these different sections of the neighborhoods. And there were of course vendors and things like that in there, but it was so cool. It was its own separate zone populated just for us, and everyone just bought their houses, and that's where the houses were. So guild neighborhoods, I thought that was such a cool thing.
Somebody get Dymlos a sweater because we've got Guild Mr. Rogers over here.
Won't you be
welcome to the neighbor.
My neighbor, my guild neighbor. All right, Gulo. Well, if you think yours are any better, what's your number 4?
So mine is coming straight from a game that very few people really want to ever talk about in the MMO genre. EVE Online.
Oh, What?
Spreadsheets
And
are
it's the friend and enemy list. The guild friend and enemy list.
This
It
should be a
lets
thing.
you just tag people as a guild, like these people are friends, these people are enemies, and you can have a nice little symbol next to their name tag that just lets people know, hey, this person is here. You know, I would personally like something in a game like Pantheon where if I go to invite somebody to my group, or I get invited to a group and there's somebody that's a guild enemy in there, I get a pop-up that says, hey, this person's in this group. Do you still want to join? But
I
yeah,
would love that.
I think it can help a lot.
That's going to be crazy. Do you want to invite this person? Oh, wait, you're part of the wrong guild. You're out.
I would love that. You could just ask him. You could straight up ask him, what did you do to my guild? Why are you on my guild's enemy list? And maybe they can feel bad about it because they're idiots.
Think of it this way. Us three, we're in a group. I go to invite somebody who will be nameless.
Mm.
You guys have him. Let's say you both have him on your guild block list or personal block list. And I invite them to the group. Before it sends them an invite, it pops up both of your screens and says, Gulo is trying to invite somebody who is on your block list. Are you okay with this? Yes or no? You hit no, I instantly know. Okay, we're not inviting this person. Boom. It's that simple.
It just sends an automated tell, you are hated by people. Maybe you should be better.
This is like the little black book on steroids. That's
I
what
love
this
it.
is.
I love this. This is definitely needs to be in. Wonderful number 4. We should be judging people left and right. All right, Draq, let me hear about your number 3.
Number 3 is, of course, the guild bank, because what says I love my fellow guildies as much as sticking all your crap that you don't want in the guild bank for them to use? And, you know, not even like trying to organize it, just clicking your stuff in the guild bank and just like leaving it a giant mess. You know, so I love me some guild bank. I think it's great.
This is a great feature, but you are the worst for saying that.
I knew that.
How dare you just dump your crap? And what's worse is it's always crap that we don't need. For guild banks to exist, there should be some sort of level of, here's the stuff that you can put into it.
It's
Or
the
maybe
crap
there's-
even Draq couldn't sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I put it in the guild bank, you can rest assured that it has zero monetary value.
I don't want it in there because I don't want to organize it. You're deleted from using the guild bank.
What about your number 3, Dymlos?
Well, my number 3 is the guild hall services. So this is coming straight out of EQ2.
Wait a minute. You're taking like all the things is on your list. You're just taking them all?
Yes, because they're services that happen in the guild house.
Not like 1 or 2 of these things. You're just taking them all.
Yeah, I lumped them all
it's
into
a top 5 list, not a top 15 list.
Oh my goodness. All the services are services provided by the guild house. It all lumps into one thing. So
no, they're each individual features of the game.
Of
the guild. Yeah, no, they're each individual
no.
things. You got to pick one. You can't take them all.
I absolutely can. This is my list, so you can
he
shut
does
up.
Literally have 5 things listed under number 3.
Yeah, this is so cheating.
How is this cheating? It's a services provided by the guild. It's all one thing. So we're talking about rally flags, teleportation, repairing of your armor, crafting. Instead of going to each individual place in the cities, you just do it all in the guild house. So the services provided by the guild. Number 3.
So you like the feature of having a place where nobody goes to cities anymore and the MMO is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yes. If I want to talk to people, I'll go out and play the game. Gulo, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a calendar with notes. Just being able to see a calendar for your guild. Just being able to see, hey, guys, sorry, the Saturday raid was canceled and rescheduled to Monday night. Just being able to say, hey, I'm putting together a static group on an off night. If anybody wants to come, message me. Simple things like that where you could say, hey, we're doing a guild level 1 gnome race, naked gnome race, whatever. It's just so nice to be able to put a little message on there with a specific date and time and just say, hey, this is going on. If you're around, be there, be square.
Just another thing for Draq not to look at.
It's 100% true, but I do love the calendar.
All right, Draq, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Gulogulo's number 5, which is, of course, the guild emblem. And this is straight out of Dark Ages of Camelot, because I love me some cloaks and I love me some shield emblems. And I think, as you said before, designing your own emblem within reason, because we all know what it's going to degrade into if we just let people upload pictures. We know exactly where that's going.
I can't wait to have a dick emblem.
But within a set amount of predetermined emblems that are okay, and colors and that type of thing, I love having a guild emblem, and I love displaying it. I think it's amazing. So guild emblems, number 2.
It's like free marketing for your guild.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful. I love it. I'm shocked that I didn't put it on my top 5, but I think the guild tag is kind of the same thing.
I mean, it's probably under your number 3 because everything else is under your number 3.
Just
too.
shut up.
So you just like listed under guild services because that's just a catch-all for everything.
You're ridiculous. That's not a service. That's something you pay for. Wait, that's what services are. I'm cutting.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Gotcha.
Cut.
Dymlos, what possible basic guild function that everyone should expect in every game do you possibly have for number 2?
Just because you expect it doesn't mean that it's a feature that isn't wonderful. And for my number 2 is guild chat. I love chatting with my guildies. It's
boring.
Yeah, well, call me the Draq of this episode because I like boring things. It's basic features. They should be in these top 5s. These are why we have guilds. The guild tag, the guild chat. That's why we have a guild to begin with, is so we can do these basic functions. Who cares what all the other stuff is? That's all fluff. But if we don't have a guild chat, then what's the point? There's none. I want to be able to send a message to everyone that's playing right now. Hey, everybody, this dude just spawned. Let's go. Anyone that's available, let's go. I don't want to type out individual. Tell Draq. Tell Gulogulo, tell Mr. C, tell Marks. How about if I just blast it out to the guild chat? It's convenience. It's a feature. That's what we're talking about. The top 5 guild features of all time.
What's the last thing you've typed in guild chat?
I mean, I talk in guild chat all the time.
No, you do not.
Well, it's because we only have 4 people that are already in the group, in the guild.
Yeah, because you use this thing called Discord. I know, it's 2024. That's how guilds communicate. Discord, not guild chat. Nobody reads friggin'
I'm not
chat.
putting in Discord, hey, everybody that's not online, come help out. No, I want just online people right now. It's so important that it's something that you've just forgotten.
So important that you don't even use it. Got it.
Gulo, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Draq's number 3, but a little bit added to. A bank with tabs.
Yeah, that way I can put even more stuff in there.
You have to have tabs so you can organize it. You have to have tabs so you can have, no spoilers, but I'll relate it to my number 1. But yeah, you have to have tabs in your bank.
Absolutely. Got to sort it all out. Got to make it all convenient for people, because you have to have a tab that only officers can touch. You have to have a tab that people can just grab stuff out of. No, that's absolutely. I love it.
I love tabs because, as I said, you could fill it with even more stuff. Like everything could go in there with tabs.
You're getting your own rank that has no access to any of the guild bank. All right, Draq. Well, your list ended up not being terrible, but let's hear your number 1.
All right, number 1 of every guild feature of all time in every MMO since the beginning of time, guild taxes. Yes!
Womp, womp, womp.
Because nothing says I'm an awesome guild leader like taxing your people 10% and then taking all the money and then leaving and going and grouping with your friends.
Wow, Draq. You're a great guild leader.
Join Greybox.
Now I know there's a story behind this, Draq. So go ahead and tell your story.
There is a story. There is a story. So Dymlos and I, back in the wee ages when Dark Ages of Camelot came out, you could tax your people because the idea is that you tax your people and then you buy realm PvP equipment that you could use siege equipment. You bought catapults and battering rams and stuff, and you did that as a guild.
But instead of asking for donations, you just auto tax people.
You just tax people. so we were in the, and this should have been a freaking sign, but we were in the guild Wolf's Dragoon, and the guy's name was Wolf. That should have been a huge glaring red sign.
Yeah.
But we didn't listen to that. So he set the tax, I think it was 20%. He set the tax to 20%, which was the highest you could set it. And we didn't even know what was going on. We just joined this guild. We had no idea. And all of a sudden, we're looking at each other. We're like, well, how come we're not making any money anymore? What the heck is going on? And then all of a sudden, the whole guild disbands. He took all the money and left.
What a guy.
What
a guy. So we learned a valuable lesson about
very valuable
people who play MMOs. Not all people that run guilds are good people. So that's a VIP tip here. Make sure you do your research on what guild you want to join before you just blindly join it, because it could be run by a real asshole. That happens all the time and still to this day.
And just know that Dymlos isn't going to let me have any access to the guild bank, so there's that.
Well, thank God that taxes are not a thing anymore. Like, don't just donate to the guild. Don't tax your people. That's a terrible way of going about that. But I appreciate you putting this number one, because it is a valuable lesson that we learned the hard way. And that's fine. It wasn't like it was real money or anything, so it's not like I'm angry about it. But definitely a valuable lesson to know who you're getting in a guild with. Don't just rando sign up to a guild. Do your research before you just click a join button.
All right, Dymlos, you're number one. Let's hear it.
Of course, my number one is the guild bank. Are you kidding? I love the guild bank. Everything about the guild bank makes life so much easier, other than Draq dumping all his bullshit into it. That's the only part about the bank that's bad. I hope that whenever we get a guild bank that I will be able to nix you out of it so that you can't even touch it. And everything still has to go through me, and me just rejecting all the trades that you send me and saying, take care of this yourself. Guild banks makes things so much easier. In my current guild in EQ2, we use the guild bank for everything. If you need bags, it's where bag makers put extra bags, all their resources. So when you're new to the guild, you just come in, hey, check tab 1 of the guild bank. You can grab bags and bank boxes, and people just making stuff all the time and throwing it in there. So when new members come in, here's your new member tab. Just grab that stuff up as much as you need, because we'll have plenty to resupply, because we have people that are harvesting all the time and need a place to put all these supplies. So it helps out with the distribution of stuff. It helps out with the organization of what we need, what harvesting stuff we need to shout out the guild for, where I use guild chat to say, hey, if you see stones, fucking mine them. Rather than using Discord, because everyone's going to forget what messages are posted on Discord. But if you're in the game right there and you see a stone after I just said it, oh, you're going to mine that stone. And then I'm going to get the stuff in the guild tab that I need when they donate it. So guild bank is the best. I love banks. Banks love me. And that's all I can say about number one.
On a serious note, I also love banks because I'm primarily a gatherer and not a crafter. So I like going out and doing the gathering and then sticking the stuff in the guild bank. And then I don't have to be online to pass all my gathering materials to the crafters. I could just stick it in the guild bank and then my part is done.
Exactly. It makes things so convenient. And this is something that is as basic as, a guild tag or a guild chat to me, right? Like this is a must-have necessity. This isn't fluff stuff, right? Like this is things that I expect. but also why they make the top 5 list for me, right? Like this is a feature of why I'm in a guild. It's not necessarily all this other stuff, but these are the mainstays of what it is to be in a guild. So to not have this stuff in Pantheon is rough for me, but I get that we need to still write the programming in it. So after EA, hopefully that stuff will come soon. But yeah, we definitely need a bank here real quick. All right, Gulo, round it out for us. What's your number 1?
All right, my number 1. It's number 1 for a reason. It's number 1 because in order for Dymlos to do everything he just said about his number 1, he needs my number 1. Ranks and permissions.
Yes.
You need to be able to set up the leader, the officers, the raid leaders, the class officers, the recruits, the full members, the raiders. You need to be able to give these people different permissions. You need to be able to separate them and say this person can pull stuff out of the crafting tab in the bank. This person can do this. This person can do that. Draq can't deposit anything or withdraw anything.
Whoa.
Correct.
Whoa.
Correct.
And in order to do that, again, I'm right there with Dymlos on this. I feel like this is a basic. This is something right there with guild tags, guild chats. You know, it is something that just is automatic. If you add guilds, you need to have different ranks and you need to be able to assign different permissions.
Absolutely. It's stuff that we just have forgotten about because guild stuff has been around for so long. This is second nature to everything. So sorry that my stuff is basic, Draq, but like this is kind of the reason we have guilds. So that's why they're on my top 5.
I just like the spiciness.
I know you do. And the flashy stuff
I
is
just
good
like
too.
that I so obviously won this week. Thank you.
The one thing that Draq and I can completely agree about is Gulo did not win.
No way.
But speaking of winning, the people that pledge money to us win every week because
You might say they're pay to win.
they definitely pay to win. And we appreciate all of you for doing it. So, Draq, at this point, if you could spin up our Patreon's guild top 5 list. Oh, the magic is beautiful. It's just something I've grown accustomed to, like guild chat and guild tags. Anyway, this week we're going to start off with archbishops instead of Zip. We'll give Zip a little break from going first. So we're going to run down this stuff real quick. And if something looks funny, I'm going to call him out for it. So speaking of funny, guild recruitment tool. What is this? Have any of you seen a guild recruitment tool?
Are you kidding me? This is in your game.
Is it?
EverQuest 2.
Other than just shouting out no OC?
No. In EverQuest 2, there's a whole guild recruitment system where you put your guild name in, you put your requirements, you put what kind of guild you are. Do you even play EverQuest 2?
No, I joined a guild a year ago. That was the first and only guild I ever needed. I don't look at these tools.
They have it in Throne and Liberty too.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good then. All right, well, I stand corrected and probably will cut all this out. Number 4, guild levels. Wonderful. We talked about that. That's a huge one. Number 3, emblem. Number 2, bank. And number 1, guild hall. I guess none of us really said the guild hall. And that's kind of a big thing, right? Like the place where we all get together. So that's a good number 1.
Would you rather have a guild hall or guild housing?
Well, hopefully I get both because everyone needs a place to go to. But I will say in the guild housing, like the neighborhood thing that is my number 4, there was a place for all that stuff that was in the hall too. Like all the services you had in the hall, you had in the neighborhood as well. So
what you're saying is you're just sticking with your number 3 where you just get everything. You don't actually have to make hard choices. I just want it all.
Why should I not have it all, Draq?
Because sometimes you have to make a choice. Guild hall or guild housing. Which one?
Nope, I'm not making a choice. I get both. Oh man. All right. So back to lists. Here's Zips. Okay, we got guild chat. See, I'm not the only one that thinks that the chat is
right out
important.
of your playbook. You and Zip.
I love Zip. He's my favorite. There, I said it. He's my favorite. I'm just kidding, Screech and Archbishops and Llama. I love you guys too. But guild chat is super important. Guild hall, good. Guild roster, is that like a who all guild, or is it like a
like everybody's levels, that type of thing.
Yeah, I like that. You got to be able to see where people are at. You can track them. That's good. See how they're leveling, see where they're at.
Yeah, because if they don't get to level 10 by Friday, they're out.
50 DKP minus. Guild buffs. This is a great one. This was something that is definitely an EQ2. As your guild levels, you get a better guild buff along the way. And so everyone getting a plus to their hit points or a plus to their armor class as a guild because of all the hard work you did. I think that's great. You should be rewarded for putting all those levels in. Everyone else like guild buffs? That's something that we didn't talk about.
Yes and no. I feel like they can be done well and they can be done bad. Throne and Liberty has them right now, and they're not permanent. They're something you can activate, and they cost resources, which I think is an interesting way to do it. But yeah, it's to me they can't be too strong and too impactful.
Yeah. Yep. In EQ1, you had to like opt into even using the buffs, and it used the guild resource money. Like you would turn in armor, you'd turn in whatever, and it'd turn into this like monetary resource that wasn't actual money. It just was points, right? Like you just status points or whatever. And every hour that your guild had the buff on, it took away from those points. And so you had to remember to turn it off. You couldn't like leave it running, because if you left it running, then it drains the account. So like being able to turn that on during raid time and turn it off, and you have to opt into it. And also people have to donate items that they don't want. So instead of getting money for it, you get this status points. That's
kind of like Throne and Liberty. In Throne and Liberty, you can donate either money, like basically gold in the game, or you can donate crafting materials. And certain buffs require certain combinations. So you might use, 20 logs and 20 ore, and it'll give you a 15-minute, like 10% boss damage. But, so that kind of stuff I can see being nice, especially if it's, not a permanent substantial thing. But it's one of those, it's a balance thing. You have to make sure it works well.
Here's my problem with it, and the why I'm kind of is it really keeps older established guilds really keep moving forward, right? Like they never break up, they never dissolve, because they've got all the guild buffs that you need to do the raids. And so it really crushes new guilds from coming out, because you don't have the guild buffs to do the raids that you need to get the content. So it's like these old guilds, even if they're run badly and they should be broken up and we should get new leaders into the mix, it doesn't happen because the guild buffs hold people together, I think, longer than they should.
We're experiencing that in EQ2 right now. We've just absorbed 2 smaller guilds because our guild buff is so much larger, like hundreds of levels beyond those guys, where they're just like, well, we really want this guild level buff, but we don't want to actually put in the work to get it. So we absorb their raiding parties. And so now they contribute to our overall guild, but they get to use our guild level buff, which is really nice. So it's a nice little trade-off. But yeah, you're right. The guild I'm in will never go away. That'll be one of the mainstay guilds for the rest of that server.
Exactly. Which it's sad, because you want small guilds in your game that are able to do raiding content, but if they can't progress at the speed that large guilds can, then they're just going to get eaten up, and I don't like that system.
Yeah, it's
tough.
Again,
it's a scaling thing. Like do
slippery slope.
It's like, say for instance, you add a 5% health buff. That 5% health buff is going to be completely different on a 25 or 50 man guild than it is on multiple hundreds. And if you're talking about like a boss fight, the more people you have, that's more health. So that buff is going to scale with all those people. Not only that, they're going to level faster because they have more people. So it's finding a good balance of how you do it is interesting conundrum.
Should be some sort of like diminishing return system. Like, okay, the main goal is to get to guild level 100. You can continue going and you can get little perks, but the goal is, the main prize is to hit level 100, or,
That point,
or whatever it is. Yeah. And then there's nothing like game breaking outside of that. It's maybe you get like an extra tab in your guild bank or, something very minor that is not going to affect the entire guild ecosystem of that server. Good thought. So guild buffs. Good job, Zip, for being the only one that listed that. That was a great one. And then his number one is guild chest, which I assume is the guild banks, which is wonderful.
Guild chest? Like we don't have a chest, or we get chests, or like what?
I don't know. I assume it's the guild bank. I'm just gonna assume that it's guild bank, and we'll move on.
Oh, chest is in like a
place
treasure
where we
chest.
where we keep all our stuff.
Oh, because I went the other way with that.
I'm not
like
surprised.
A chest key?
No, he just wants free treasure for being in a guild.
No, I thought it was a chest piece. I'm like, why? Like a
crest?
No, like a chest. Like you have it, like your armor or something.
You have specific guild armor?
I don't know. Chest.
You're weird.
It's weird.
Oh my goodness, you are so weird. All right, we're just gonna. No, I'm not. That's staying in. So yeah, guild bank. Let's just assume it's a guild bank.
Okay, that's probably better.
Yeah, and Screech, great number 5. Guild reputation. No one said that.
Guild reputation a lot.
That's a huge one. I guess that kind of does tie into my guild tag, because when you flash the guild tag or our guild emblem and things like that too, because people know that's the status, right? Like you want your guild to be well thought of. You don't want it to be like other guilds run by people who can't change their smoke alarm battery, right? Like you want people to say, oh, hey, look, there's Greybox. I absolutely love the people from that guild. And honestly, the 4 guilds that we advertised earlier were all great. None of them are bad. So like, it's good to have good rep, but when, again, this is a valuable lesson, know who you're getting into cahoots with your guild, because you don't want is your tag to be from one of those bad guilds and your reputation is bad, because you are instantly, it doesn't matter, you're guilty by association. If you don't know who they are, you don't know what they did, it does not matter. You are wearing that guild tag and your reputation is going to suffer from it.
Reputation matters.
Hashtag reputation matters. All right. Number 4, guild hall / crafting stations. Sounds like Screech wants it all too. He's putting both the hall and the crafting stations. So I approve. I approve of that, Screech.
Might as well just call this the Dymlos top 5.
Yeah, exactly. Where you get everything in one pick. Yes. Good job, Screech. You're the best. Speaking of the best, guild bank, guild chat. Look, he put number 2 as chat. Oh wait, that was my number 2. Oh, that's wonderful.
Wait a minute. Number 2 is guild chat. What the heck? Screech!
Other people think this stuff is important.
No.
What do you mean no? It's a basic feature of a guild. It should absolutely be in a top 5.
Screech is still learning how to type. We've established that he used ink and a quill ink and like was writing on parchment to begin with. So he's still learning how to type. So he's really impressed with this newfangled guild chat
thing. Oh, it's crazy. Oh, Draq, this is why people don't like you. Just kidding. Everyone actually loves Draq. And last but not least, guild raids / groups. The Fellowship.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Is there any game in any MMO that you've ever been in that requires you to be in a guild to have a raid or a group?
What's the question you're asking me?
Is there any MMO ever created that requires you to be in a guild to either be in a raid or be in a group?
Requires no?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
It's
required, but
It's not a
but
thing.
for instance,
Guild
Throne
raids
and Liberty,
guild groups is not a feature in any game.
Throne and Liberty. I know I'm going to ruin this again with Throne and Liberty.
Yeah.
Throne and
Why did we
Liberty.
invite Gulo onto this show?
Throne and Liberty inside the guild hall has a portal to do guild raids. So you can literally go from your guild hall, portal into these raids, and do guild specific raids from inside your guild hall.
All right, I stand completely corrected. Gulo, you're the man. You win. You win the rewind. You win top.
You're
5
welcome,
this week.
Screech.
You're lucky, Screech. Drac was coming for you. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Drac. Yeah, raids and groups are certainly not required. It's not a part of any MMO where it is a requirement, because and even in Throne and Liberty, you don't have to do them to be a part of the guild. But
No, you can do raids and groups outside of that.
I feel like where Screech is coming from here is more the fellowship side of things, where getting in a guild group and doing a raid as a guild and coming together and overcoming something with your guild is what he's talking about. It's the friendship.
But
And
that's
what's a
not
better
feature.
feeling?
It's the fellowship we made along the way.
Before you leave, we've one final word. Before you've forgotten all that you've heard, there is a moment evergreen. Stay here a while and listen to me.
And now, Dymlos, we have reached the end of another sad show where we have to say goodbye to Gulo.
Well,
Goodbye, everybody.
it was nice knowing you, but oh wait, we're gonna see you on Monday nights after darks, and certainly when we tune in on Fridays for Bros Before Foes. Always at 8 o'clock.
6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh yes, 8 o'clock my time in the central part. That's what
8
I was
o'clock.
thinking.
No one
Dymlos
cares
time?
about your crappy central time.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. No one cares about Mr. C's mountain time. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the weird one.
Next week, top 5 time zones here on the Rewind.
All right, Gulo. Well, we certainly appreciate you being a part of our guild, being a part of our fellowship, making memories with us in games. You are a pillar of the Pantheon community. Anyone that plays the game knows you for several things. One, for being a super nice guy and always being willing to help out other people when you're not busy. Giving away stuff. You never sell anything. You just always give it away. Now, maybe that'll change when there's a real economy in Pantheon, but I really appreciate you circling wagons with us, because we need a pillar of the community like you in there, because, assholes like me and exploiters like Draq, we I'm just kidding. Draq doesn't exploit the game. I'm just kidding. It's really important that we have that guild reputation, and I think you are the flagship of that. Like, you are our banner carrier. You are our warrior for guild reputation. So everyone should aspire to be like Gulo, not just in sexiness, but also in kindness.
Well, I appreciate that a ton. Thank you guys for having me. Always a pleasure. And I can't wait to play some Pantheon with you guys in EA.
Here we go.